record button, and then say, yo, what up? How's it going, man?
It's going all right.
Good to hear.
Just lost round 2 of MMM against my brother and dropped and did this.
Well, hell yeah. Well, congrats to your brother for
Yeah.
running, hopefully getting that sweet cash.
Yeah, a few free class reunion boxes.
Yeah. So, Toru. Toru 1 specifically. Fun flash character, +2/-2 speed, a little stage hate. Hit me with a pitch. What's going on? What's going on with Air Toru 1?
Okay, so the pitch is that 3 weeks ago I was watching Travis Tangeman's tier list, and he put Toru in the A tier, which surprised me. But he said, I think in this coming meta that Toru could be really good. So I got to building Toru, and my general gist of the deck was, since Cheerleader has air and Decoy Duplicate has air and Zero Gravity Lift is on air, I can just take all of those to the max and constantly discard people's attacks, give them flash, and then that only leaves me 1 or 2 blocks a turn.
Yeah. I dig that.
So I played it twice with Sam on his stream a few weeks ago, and I went 2-1, and it felt good. But it didn't feel like I could really kill someone. I won by mill on the last one. I felt like it was lacking like being a real deck.
Sure. Yeah. That's fair.
Should I click this watch stream button, or is that going to do the voice thing again?
On Discord?
Yeah.
Yes, you definitely want to do that because that'll have a real-time view of my screen.
Okay, perfect. I was just doing that without looking at the list. But those were the 3 cards I was thinking of building around: the barrier, and the other 2, Cheerleader and Decoy.
Sure. So the reason you can't kill anybody is because inside of the techniques that you highlighted 2 very defensive foundations, right? Sorry, 3 defensive cards, as opposed to how do I actually get the job done? It's how do I stop my opponent from doing their job, right? Which is a totally valid, totally fine game plan, right? Like hope to win game 1 and then finish it out. What we have to do is we have to figure out like what does the kill condition actually look like, and do some of these cards that are in here because they're neato, do they actually need to exist here?
Right. The most sus card is probably Airstream Driver, and maybe I could take Rebound Sidekick down a little bit.
Why Sidekick, if I can ask?
Off the head. Well, I loved it to get the momentum because Barrier, Duplicate, and Cheerleader all need the momentum.
Sure.
And Sidekick plus Barrier gave me 6 cards where I felt really good giving them flash, since they don't really have any enhances to do during the attack.
Yeah. You have lift as well.
Right, and lift. So Jolt and lift get to momentum but Rebound gets there right away, which is nice, but I'm not sure it's strong enough to stay. The Airstream Driver worked 1 game, but I mean, Indiscriminate felt a million times better to have in hand.
Sure. My big thing about Rebound Sidekick, right, is this card, if you have no ways to really like pump up its damage stat, is kind of, or spend it as cash instantly on your turn, right, as like a Recipro Burst. Beautiful. This card's super rad and void right now. Only so in everything else. Just because of like how your things work. I would almost rather have instant explosive release inside of the kit over top of it, because it is +2 damage to the next one. It always snaps instantly. It's a 3 diff, so it's very hard to fail. The only thing is like instant explosive just doesn't have the bonus to minus damage, right?
Right. Yeah, I did use that a few times. I had one where I stuffed my card pool with 3 sidekicks to take it to 0 on an electric jolt. Um, I didn't think about that, but yeah, instant explosive release is probably better. I guess with that, I need to draw a jolt or lift too.
Yeah. Almost done, I promise.
Okay. I apologize if you can hear a pirate story in the background. My daughter's falling asleep.
You're good. You're good. We are big pirate fans. Okay, so I'm gonna. I got 17 cards in the side pool or sideboard that we can chat about. Right. So first and
Okay.
foremost, whenever I look at what Toru's doing, my thought is to either be unbelievably lame, play a grindy throw exclusive attack package, and just get there eventually, right? Have my character and these lame foundations to defend me, and then I'm gonna play zero gravity lift every single chance that I get. You've got zero gravity lift, nebulous stare, GMA takedown, all as throws that do the thing that you want to do, right? So this is we don't care about the enhance on this card. This is just a 4 high for 5 throw. We are allowed to care about the enhance on this card, right? This is a 3 low for 6 throw that builds us a foundation or a momentum depending on what we need or want, right?
Okay.
We have Go Beyond. I'll play this 3 difficulty action in my deck. I will discard my momentum. I'll discard my zero gravity lift, and I'll pick back up my zero gravity lift. I'll play zero gravity lift. This is an easy way to get jolts back in your hand. This is an easy way to flash an indiscriminate shock early in the game, make it connect with a 5 low for 5 they weren't expecting, and then go find your kill condition later. And so, like, if you don't like these cards, you have the luxury of being a set 1 character, and you can just play Go Beyond as, like, go find the cards that matter, right?
Okay, that's true. To be honest, whenever I see Go Beyond, I just keep scrolling.
Yeah, well,
I
like,
could, but it might actually be good.
I think Go Beyond is one of those cards that as defense gets better, right, and you're playing incredible defense, right, it is extra copies of the cards that you want to see, right? When you check for indiscriminate shocks as your first 4 cards in a game, and you have 4 Go Beyond, you actually have 8 indiscriminate shocks that are available to you. As long as you can find momentum, and you're going to find momentum, you just are. It's
Right,
like,
momentum. I was having just crazy amounts of momentum.
Yeah, if you aren't afraid of more 2 checks, you could replace these Go Beyonds with the Jiro Flash Attack Specialist of Sound, right? Because it's like a 3 damage move that does the same thing of remove said momentum, right? Whatever momentum you randomly get off the top of a wealthy or a rebound sidekick that you just don't give a shit about, right? My personal opinion is I would rather see the Go Beyond because it's also playable on defense, and you can go find a 1 low block or a 1 mid block or a 2 high block and go add it to your hand on the move that you decide not to flash.
Okay, yeah, I wouldn't be against that, and it would just take. I guess it would take an attack slot.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just more copies of zero gravity lift eventually, right? What happened if you were allowed to play 8 zero gravity lifts? Would you?
Oh yeah,
well, there it is, right? This is just the other 4 copies of that card, right? And like that's the way that you could think about it in a character that is so unbelievably defensive like this. Yeah, I would straight up. I've fallen in love with Nebulous Stare on any character that can give some amount of stats, which is why I had things like First Impressions. This turns your 6 damage moves now into 9 damage moves, which means on the partial they take 5, which feels great. Which says your next one gets +3 speed, and then you flash that one, so it's got +5 speed. Well, they didn't get to block that second one either, so they took half on the first one at minimum, which was 5, and then plus 5 speed on your Airstream driver. They take 6, so they took 11 on this turn, and all I did was flip 1 foundation.
Hmm.
Which like when you put it in writing like that, that sounds very good. The other option of a kill condition that we have.
Struggle.
Oh, go ahead.
I struggle putting first impressions in because I'm so defensive.
Yeah.
That, like, I want to put it in, and then I look at the foundations and I think, what could I take out?
Yeah, 2 rescue completed, 1 wealthy aspirations, and then you're good. There's your 3. You don't need 4 rescue completed. Not with your character, decoy, cheerleader, requesting assistance, release, like like
yeah, I think you're. I think
specialist
you're
of sound.
Right.
You got 4 rescue, 4 specialist, 4 release. Your character. You're going to be blocking on -5s for whatever with +2 to your check. I think you'll be okay.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's a low for a low.
100%. Yeah, the low blocks are technically worse, right? This is a 3 low. This is a 1 low. This is a 2 low. And I'm like 2 or 3 tops, right? Like, but like wealthy aspirations.
Right.
What's the point of wealthy aspirations?
I was just worried about having enough momentum since duplicate cheerleader need 1 and barrier needs 2 itself +1.
Sure. I think that
I wasn't running into that problem.
Yeah. The other kill condition we have is like Extendo, Hairstrike, Fierce Whirlwind, Grenade Bracers. This feels very good whenever you like turn your whole stage sideways, and then Fierce Whirlwind to destroy everything, ready it, and then Grenade Bracers. So this is a kill condition, and this is a kill condition, and your character helps facilitate the momentum needed for both of these cards.
Okay.
And then Bracers like accidentally is very good everywhere else too, right? Like you can even like Extendo Hairstrike into Fierce Whirlwind into Indiscriminate Shock because you readied half your board. All right, you've got 10 foundations, and you turn all but what you need to commit the Fierce Whirlwind, commit to pass the Fierce Whirlwind sideways for +1 damage, and then EX a million, and then EX it all, and then Fierce Whirlwind to then ready the stage back up, and then give this thing +17 damage. And then in order to deal with this, they had to commit their board, and so you play this afterwards, and then you got them because you actually had 20 foundations or 15 foundations approximately on your 10 card board.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. But that almost changes
100%. It totally changes the lineup, right? It's just
I feel like I've got to make a second deck and test that theory out and see how often I'm getting the combo.
Here's your third deck.
Or how often Hairstrike is getting it.
Long Lasting Explosion is a 7 mid for 6. 5 diff. Incredibly strong. It's just stats on a card that says that whenever you don't flash it, your home run comments in your meteor showers get cooler. Like meteor shower just like says for every momentum you have, you just have more cards, right? Is meteor you could just take meteor shower and slot it in for rebound sidekick instead, and you would probably feel just as good. Because like we don't remove this momentum, right? We discard the momentum. But like rebound sidekick does 4 damage and is done, and making this just a 6 high for 5 that just hits them as your 4 diff is also just fine, right? Like you don't have to, like this card doesn't have an enhance until it has the enhance you want to do. But like this is only ever 4 damage ever. Sometimes this is 20 damage if you find one of them.
That's true. And then you just keep
and
filtering.
Like it tactically working with 0 gravity lift says that you just turn your entire hand into 30 damage, right? And on the one that the last one that you're gonna kill them with, you just flash it or whatever, right? Like this card is just still a good enough kill condition by itself to just do the thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think where I was going wrong is I was only thinking about momentum for defense.
Yeah.
And if I'm on a kill turn, I need a way go beyond or meteor shower to change my momentum to offense.
100%. Right? And obviously like you don't have to sell out completely for the offense, right? But like you're sitting there with 3 momentum, you've got Toru and 1 decoy duplicate on board. You have 2 momentum that's sitting there doing nothing. Use
Right.
it. So how can we use it more effectively, right? An easy answer is Airstream Driver to seal a thing, but that's not amazing, right? An easy answer is plus Ultra, right? But like turning your zero gravity lift momentum back into a zero gravity lift is very strong. It's very, very strong.
Yeah. I could definitely see that. Then I get to pick what I get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah, I
face
like
shield is
Toby
seeing
on it.
like less play, and so like the throw idea is like still super good. Wall cling is seeing less play. Like truthfully, like inside of your deck, you could just toss wall clings in the sideboard and like just like swap them for charged ups and feel fun, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I always like using charged up.
It feels very good with barrier, right? Of like I don't need barrier to hit.
Right. Right. Yeah, I can just go grab it.
If you are still feeling like you can't kill people, the next suggestion would be to take out barrier and put in sound waves. Sound waves go pick up indiscriminate shock, right?
Yeah, I'll see how it feels. The barrier came in handy when somebody else is playing an electric jolt deck. They can't jolt down barrier.
Correct.
The first thing they would do is jolt down decoy duplicate.
Mm-hmm. And you weren't flashing their jolt, or do they happen to have the second one?
Yeah, like on a second one.
Yeah. At that point, you just give it to them, right? Like they earned it. I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Is I really like the idea of. I'm also like, currently like the most fun deck that I'm playing at the moment is like this throws all Dobby 2. And so like my brain is like really triggered for like, or really wrinkling for like, let's play throws because nobody is really teching against them at the moment.
Right.
And he gives stats on them, but like you don't.
I never thought about Nebulous there and GMA takedown just because they're not great cards most of the time. I just kind of scroll past.
Yeah.
But in this deck, since I played just in such a long grinded out, yeah, you can just slowly whittle them down.
Yeah, if you're not liking Airstream Driver, I would 100% just switch to Nebulous Stare. What are your symbols? Okay. Air Chaos. So that means that it might just be Stare. The fact that 1, 2, 3, 4 cards share the 2 symbols, or share 2 symbols with your character is a little annoying, but this card building and attacking at the same time is so nuts, man. It's so good. And like it feels really it is a totally fine target to destroy with Toru. Cuz like,
wait, how does it build at the same time?
If this card would be added to your momentum, you may build it face down instead, period.
Oh, I see.
So at the end of your turn, instead of getting the momentum for decoy or cheerleader, if you don't have those, it's just another foundation.
Right.
Yeah. So like it's a 6 damage move that builds itself when you're done. That's great. Yeah, we love that. It's
that's not much. It's not much worse than Gravity Lift.
Yeah. So like Gravity Lift says next turn -1 progressive difficulty. This says on my opponent's turn +1 to my check 1 time.
Okay. Yeah, I could switch that Driver to Nebulous Stare.
Yeah. The thing is Driver is a kill card. It is a 6 high for 9. This is not a kill card. This gets them to a lower number.
Right, but the problem was I drag the game. I don't kill them fast, so the game goes into deadlock, and then 6 speed really isn't that much when they have 15 foundations.
Sure. Rebound Sidekick. How do we get this card out of your deck?
Yeah, I could just switch it for the Go Beyond.
Let's do it. Let's do that, and we're gonna do 3 Go Beyond.
Yeah,
and we're gonna take Nebulous Stare. We're gonna push it up to a 4 of, just so we have more targets of for this. 18, 19, 20, 21 attacks in our 60
Yeah, I was
card
at-
deck. That's pretty aggressive attack wise, but I think it's okay because like your attacks kind of are a bunch of do nothings.
Right. Yeah.
So here is my other idea, right? If we wanted to go beyond down to like a 2 of, right? We could take, and if we take the 0 gravity barrier and trade them into 2 copies of the attack card, the whatever attack. What is it called? The 2 check, specialized sound waves.
Okay.
We could sideboard 4 double jab pummel and a Jiro for whenever you actually got to kill him. Whenever this just isn't working, right? Oh, they for some reason Toru's just whatever. This is just a Jiro deck, right? These become the double jabs, and then these just murder them.
Sideboard the specialized sound waves. Sideboard the double jab pummel and the Jiro.
Yeah, and like we find like home run comet in here somewhere, right? It might even just be like you take out it'd be like a pretty transformative sideboard, right? Of like we get 4 home run comets, 4 double jab pummel, 1 Jiro, and you got 1 other flex card. You take out the nebulous stare and then like a couple other things, because you know what's scarier than Toru with decoy duplicate? Jiro with decoy duplicate.
Oh, that's true, but that would require me taking out the barrier, huh?
Yeah. But run it with a barrier as is, right? And if you're gonna play this in a competitive format, what I'm afraid of with Toru being so good is she's very much I win game 1, we go to time kind of character. Like that's your dream scenario, right?
Right. If I lose game 1,
if you lose game 1, you need to turn into Jiro and beat some ass to get your points back. You know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Foundations and asset wise. So I'm just gonna like pull some cards that I think are interesting, right? Suited Up says that your character is not +1 +2 is actually +3 plus. Oh, this is only playable committed. We're gonna get rid of this. Might be. I definitely thought that the other one was the playable committed part. Might be. Convenient timing.
That happens to me.
This card also cannot be jolted. It says that their string decks just don't work. If they're playing something big and long, you can just convenient timing them instead of the decoy duplicate, and say that like they can't. If you have 2 momentum and like double decoy, sometimes it's right to just not decoy them, convenient timing them, -1 other checks. They play another one, then you decoy duplicate, and they have to do it again. It's pretty strong. We already talked about first impressions. Next up is encouraging training partner. This card, I think personally, this card's better than cheerleader. And the reason is this card basically says flip auto block a move, whereas this card says remove discard a momentum, do the thing.
Yeah, I could switch that.
That's how I feel. This card doesn't cost a momentum, right?
Right. That makes sense.
And then just like first day of class, very good whenever your game plan is play a 5 difficulty throw into a 5 difficulty throw or vice versa, right? Pretty good to go 0 gravity lift into 0 gravity barrier and like not check poorly. Feels okay. The issue with this card is just room. The answer is would you rather have like first day of class in your deck or first impressions? My opinion, if we're playing Nebula Stare or 0 gravity lift, is you just play first impressions. So I think that's very good.
Yeah, because I would rather, because in the first impressions world, I could get indiscriminate to 6 speed and then use plus ultra and get it to 12 speed.
Yeah.
And that feels like a killer most of the time.
Yeah, it also says that like your 0 gravity barriers actually come in at like a decent amount of speed, right? If you play them second, if it even gets blocked, right? But like it probably will because it's a 9 damage throw, so like they're probably going to block it. You're down, super down.
Yeah, that makes sense. I definitely want first I could definitely do first impression.
At least try it, right? Like it's a. Oh, we lost a card. I don't know how. At least.
You took Go Beyond too.
You're right. So it's 20. I mean, we could push this up there. This is probably fine. Back to 60. 60 and 21. At least try it, right? Like be creative with the idea and like empty your cup enough to be like, first impressions on paper has never worked, but like I'm playing a shit ton of throws and like it's just guaranteed stats, just guaranteed.
Right.
If you can find room for first impressions, it's one of those cards that every time it gets played against me, I go, man, I don't want to have to deal with +6 stats on a single flipped card. Yeah. That's very, very good. And like half of them are guaranteed with the +3. And if they don't block it, I flip the card for +3 damage. Like that, I mean, that feels good, right?
Yeah, very good in a throw deck.
One of the decks I'm going to be playing on stream tonight is Hatsume, and I think I'm down to flip one of my foundations for +3 damage pretty much every day of the week.
Yeah. I mean, especially if you're on a kill turn too. I mean,
I think if this is the plan, though, I think this is the deck, man. Final thoughts?
Yeah, I think that might just do it. Switching, the rebound sidekick just might have been a clog in the game plan.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, switching it to the stair and then the Go Beyond to, especially if they're committed out because they tried to kill me and failed, and I can grab an indiscriminate shock. Yeah, this feels much, much better. I'm going to give this a few games.
If you are like, yo, I am still missing a flash move, I suggest changing it out for Dignified Display. Because this is 8 damage. It also clears your card pool. Also, when you block with it, you get to redraw a card. This card represents 8 damage as opposed to 4. This card is still that same flash that you wanted. The only difference is it doesn't go to momentum. It will be flipped if you echo it. You know?
Right.
But if you're still like, yo, I love the flash keyword, I have to have the flash keyword in my deck. If I don't have the flash keyword, I'll explode. I'll spontaneously combust. Nebulous Stare stinks. It's a bad card. You could try Dignified Display. I don't like it as much as Nebulous Stare, but there it is.
Yeah, I can see giving Dignified a shot. At least get some blocks out of their hand.
Yeah.
At least, I mean, they have to block at least one of them.
Right. Yeah, going a display into Jolt just like feels good. Get a mid block and then clear it, or you can like display if they block it. You go into lift and you're like, "Whoa, should have blocked that one, huh?"
Yeah. I can see adding that, but I just don't know if I have room.
Just play it. Just see what's up. My very, very last thing is this deck is going to be very, very slow. This is not it is impossible to kill anybody ever on turn 2 with this deck, because like this being like a seventh of your attacks, and so like he's got to be slow and steady. You know?
Yeah, when I played Sam on his Twitch, I went back and watched it, and someone commented after the game, said, Sam, you need to send us all refunds for making us watch that.
That's funny.
But that's the kind of game I like to play. I like to play a slow game where when you win, your opponent also lost.
Wow, what a message. When I win, you lose. That's tight. That's tight.
Right. It's, like an aggro deck that wins, your opponent doesn't feel like they lost. They just got out aggroed.
Right.
But
yeah.
With this, it just feels good.
You paid for the hour. You want the full hour. I get it.
Right. Yeah, this is very interesting. I'm going to give this a shot. I never thought I'd go beyond or Nebulous Stare.
Love it. So. All right, man. Well, stay on the line long enough for me to shoot you the link. But we're going to say goodbye to YouTube now, okay? Say bye, YouTube.
All right. Perfect. Thanks.